Since Nigeria got independent from the British in 1960, 1st October 1960, we have had a lot of government from that time up to this moment. So we are going to review how the government has been from that 1960 up to this moment. If this is your first time of watching us, this is King's Television. God bless you. So 1960, 1st October, the British handed over the mantle of leadership to us as an independent nation. There was jubilation all over the streets of Nigeria as our flag is raised up that a new nation has birthed, a country called Nigeria, or otherwise popularly known as the Giant of Africa, became the Prime Minister of the Northern Nigeria. That election that brought him, our forefathers, like founders like Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe and Chief Obafemi Awolowo and the others who fought for the independence, they were thinking that this government, the First Republic, that they will emerge as the Prime Minister, especially Nnamdi Azikiwe, think very well that that election, he's supposed to be the one that won the election because of his role in bringing the independence to Nigeria. But unfortunately, Nnamdi Azikiwe lost the election, and the election goes to the north. That begin to bring a lot of kind of misunderstanding among the regions which we have that time. I think we have about 4 regions that time. The government lasted from that 1960 to 1966. 1st January 15th, 1966, there is a military coup which was led by young military officers, led by Major Kaduna Nzogu, which killed majority of those First Republic leaders that bring their government to an end. But that coup, the first military coup in Nigeria, could not hold water because those perpetrators of those coups were later arrested, the coup foiled, and being that the current prime minister was assassinated in that coup attempt, the government failed, and a new government was formed that brought about Major General Aguiyi Ironsi as the new head of state, the first military head of state that Nigeria have. From January, that's 1966 until July 1966, there is also another counter coup because the Northerners feel that the first coup was centered on the north, that majority of people that was killed, they were all Northerners. Those of the Easterners, nothing happens to them. So they felt so bad and they retaliated in what is called the counter coup, which eliminated the life of Major General Aguiyi Ironsi, who is the first military leader or the military head of state that Nigeria produced. His government lasted for only 6 months. And this counter coup, which was staged by the northern military officers, bring in Major General Yakubu Gowon as the new head of state. Head of state Gowon come the second military head of state that Nigeria produced after Aguiyi Ironsi. His government was toppled by another military coup, which did not also hold. Then that military coup bring in Murtala Muhammad as the military head of state. Murtala Muhammad government did not also last so long. He was also assassinated by his friend. What is his name? Dinka. I think Major Dinka or Major General Dinka. I don't know the rank he is. But Dinka coup could not be able to hold on. And the Major General Olusegun Obasanjo became the next head of state. After Olusegun Obasanjo, then Nigeria began to gradually return back, talking about handing over government to elected civilian government, which later bring about the election that brought Alhaji Usman Aliyu Shehu Shagari into power. That was 1979. Shagari ruled from 1979 to 1983, when his government was toppled by Major General Muhammad Buhari and Tunde Idiabo. Their government lasted from 1983 to 1985. Then there was another military coup. Remember, the first republic lasted from 1960 to 1966. The second republic lasted from 1979 to 1983. Then military took over power again from 1983. Then Buhari stroke Idiabo. Then Babangida stroke Sani Abacha. They took over government. Babangida started promising Nigeria that he will return back to civilian rule from one timetable to the other, from one timetable to the other. Finally, the Nigerian youth, the Nigerian many activists, politicians, get tired of his shifting timetable from here and there, and finally, he decided to step aside, which, when he conducted an election that was assumed as the one of the fairest election in Nigeria, fair and free election in Nigeria, that every Nigerian and even the international communities know that Alhaji MKO Abiola won the election under SDP, neat and clean, was annulled by Major General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, General now. So that is the genesis of the problem of his government administration, which Nigerian populists come out and begin to demand that IBB must go. So IBB handed over to Ernest Shoneko, who was an interim president of Nigeria, or interim head of state, or whatever you wanted to call it. But his government didn't last more than 6 months. Abacha toppled him in a palace coup. Abacha took over government and hold the power, wanted to make himself life president. Why dare Abiola died in prison? Likes of Obasanjo and the Yaradua was arrested. Allegations of coup and the planned coup or not planned coup was arranged against them. Unfortunately, Yaradua died in prison, while Obasanjo narrowly escaped. On the process, General Abacha also died while in power. That brought in Alhaji Major General Abdul Salami Abubakar, which did not stay more than 1 year in office, and he handed over back to the civilian regime, which now brought him back, Olusegun Obasanjo, from prison to become the executive president of Nigeria, coming to rule Nigeria for the second time as a military leader and now as a civilian leader. Obasanjo ruled for 8 years from 1999, 8 years in office, wanted to extend to a third term. Nigeria raised their voice and said, no, we can't tolerate such thing again. From retired military, these military guys, they have their way of maneuvering and manipulating things. So Obasanjo decided to quit and suspend the third term agenda, and the new fresh election were conducted that brought in Yaradua to Goodluck Jonathan into power. Unfortunately, Yaradua died while in office, and Goodluck Jonathan took over the power, the mantle of leadership, finished their tenure, the first tenure of him and the Yaradua, and contested on his own, which he also won the election. But the whole Nigeria began to cry that Goodluck Jonathan is bringing the country backward, that they don't want him again to be their president. A fresh election time come, they voted him out. This man gently congratulated his counterpart, even though that he's an incumbent, that bring in about Muhammad Buhari as a second time as leader of Nigeria. Buhari took over power, ruled for 8 years. There was rumor whether he's alive, whether he's chrome or something like that, but he ruled for 8 years. Then another election was conducted after his tenure elapsed, and the current president, Ahmed Tinubu, who is the president of Nigeria now, took over office from him. It was their party from one transition from one person to another within the same party, just as PDP has done in the past. APC is now the ruling party. Will he continue in 2027? This is the history of those who have ruled Nigeria from 1960 to date. Who do you think will be the next president come 2027? Let's see at the comment section. Thank you for watching, and please see you in my next video.